In this video, we're gonna learn about how Leah member Mike Bull hit an $80,000 profit month in November and how he did over $600,000 in gross profit in his first year of being full-time in the land business. This is an awesome in-person interview that we did. We go over everything about how he selects markets, what kind of mailers he's doing, how many mailers he's sending, what kind of deals he's going after, and everything in between. So let's dive into it. Hope you guys enjoy. What's going on, guys? Today we are sitting here with Michael Bull. Some of you guys may know him. We actually did an interview, I think it was a little over a year ago. One of the OG Leah members, and he's had just a breakout 2022. He's got what I call escape velocity, right? Those first 6 to 12 months, you're grinding, and then boom, you get the momentum where it's like at that point you're just an unstoppable force. And I think he's really hit that this year. Found his stride, had a ginormous month in November. So we're going to go over all the details. Mike, how was 2022?
Yeah, it was great. It was awesome. Yeah, great year for the business.
How long have you been in land investing thus far, just to give context?
I started, my first campaign went out in August of 2021.
Okay.
I think I bought my first deal in September 2021 and probably sold at the end of the month. So now we're coming up on, what is that, 16, 17 months or so. For 2022 was probably the biggest for learning for our business, just kind of realizing how the business works and how to grow it. I still remember January 29th of 2022 was our first big cash sale deal. I sold a property. I bought it for $14,000. I sold it for $39,000.
And for context, and if you guys want to go back, you can watch the first interview. When you started, you were doing the small deals.
The small deals. Nothing. I think probably the most expensive lot we bought at the time was $2,500, $3,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was our first, quote unquote, at the time was a bigger deal.
And what gave you the confidence to do that bigger deal? Had you secured funding at that point, or were you self-closed, or not self-closed, but using your own funds?
It's funny. So this deal, I was using my own funds, and at the time, I had drained almost everything. Yeah. I was out. Yeah. So this was.
Well, you're playing the owner finance game, right?
Yeah, I spent all my money on properties. I'm getting a few $1,000 a month, which is great. But
it's not enough to really run. Yeah, it's not enough to run a business, right?
Yeah.
And you'll find that out pretty quickly. So scary.
Scary. Yeah. So January 29th, I bought a lot for $14,000. I sold it the next day for $39,000. Yeah. And
you're off to the races.
I was off to the races. Yeah. At that point, I was no longer doing little deals and starting to get some funding. And from that point forward, it really kind of projected the business.
So what was the stepping stone once you got funding? What like kind of funding route did you go? On this channel we talk about there's a multitude of ways to get your deals funded. Like in our business, we've got a blend of joint venture arrangements, we got private debt, we actually recently have been getting like mortgages on properties from banks. So what route did you start with? Because I think a lot of newer guys, they get like crossed up here. They don't know what they can do in terms of finding capital.
Yeah.
And what they don't realize is actually shockingly easy.
Much easier. Yeah, much easier than you think. Yeah. So we started doing equity deals. We used Parcel Funders, who I know you teach in the course, and they were great. They were super helpful. But when you do equity, they take a big share of the deal. So I think the next 3 deals, they were sizable deals, but we partnered with Parcel Funders and we wrote them a pretty sizable check at the end of it. And from them, so those are joint venture deals. They were equity deals. We probably did another 25 to 30 deals, all equity deals. We actually just now at the end of beginning 2023, we're just now raising debt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah. So
how much?
It's gonna be about $200,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not necessarily debt, but it's gonna be lines of credit, which I think is
and better because
better
when you tap into it, right?
Yeah. So
is that private?
It's private. It's actually gonna be from Fund and Grow is the company that we're using. So
we had another guy in the program, I think Rylan was using them, right?
He looked into them. I don't know if he ended up actually using them, but yeah. So they do it in kind of phases. So the first quarter, I think we'll get about $100,000, and then they go $200,000 in the next quarter. And I think they probably get upwards of $300,000.
When you tap into that, what kind of interest are you paying on it?
And so it's 0% interest for 12 to 18 months. Kind of how they make their money is a 2.9% fee based on all wires.
Dude, that's insane.
So pretty good though. Yeah. So it's basically 3%.
What was the process like of arranging that? Pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward. So
how come I'm just hearing about this?
I just started it today, actually. Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting process. So what they do is they basically pool a bunch of credit cards together under your business. So you might have 15 credit cards with a $10,000 limit. You tell them, hey, I need $30,000 for to send to this escrow. They'll pull it from certain credit cards, and they'll wire it to the escrow company. But there's 0% interest for 12 to 18 months.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
well,
that's a good deal.
That's a really interesting insight.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you started doing the joint venture stuff. You pretty much ran that for the whole year.
Yeah.
You did some self-funding. You found some better options for some cheaper joint venture arrangements. I know
Yeah.
you went kind of friends, family.
Yeah.
But again, that only lasts you so long, right? Like I think you play that game for 12 to 24 months, you make a couple $100,000, then you realize, either I'm going to use my own money, or really what you should do is go find cheaper capital,
Right.
which you really can. And once you have a track record, it's really, really easy to go raise private debt, whether it's
Yeah.
fund and grow or just someone in your circle. And let's talk about kind of your typical deal this year, how much mail you're sending, what your strategy was. We know a lot of different ways to skin the cat in this business. In the Leah program, we really go after kind of one specific niche. I think you're pretty aligned with that, but let's hear about what you were doing this year.
Yeah, so I'll kind of just break down my numbers for you, and it'll give you a good idea. So we did just about a little over 600,000 in gross profit. We're netting about half of that, so about 300,000. We sent just over 60,000 mailers. I think we did about 48 deals.
Wow.
Yeah, and it broke down to about $7,000 per deal is what we were doing. Now, take it
Well, a
with
lot
a
of
grain
those
of salt because a lot of them are really
costs, yeah.
cheaper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, a lot of them are really cheaper. The first, because we probably had 20 deals
Yep.
from 2021 that we sold 22 that are under the $5,000, $6,000, $7,000
Right,
number.
right.
So out of that 48, I would say probably 30 of them, 25 of them were
Bigger deals. Right.
And on those spreads, we're averaging about 15,000.
Which is just so typical. Like literally, I bang this drum all the time. I'm like 2,500 to 2,000 letters per deal, $15,000 gross spread, 80% margins, $12,000 net profit.
It pencils perfectly.
I mean, it's like it's freaking clockwork for the people
Yeah.
in our program. And
Yeah.
once you start doing it, you realize that it does not really deviate much from that model. That's super scalable. So did you build up an owner finance portfolio this year at all? Was that a mix, or was it a pretty small percentage of what you're
Very,
doing?
very small percentage. I think we have a few $1,000s a month. We get from owner financing.
Gotcha.
I think it's about $30,000 a year. So
Oh.
yeah. I mean, it's decent, but we sell almost none on owner finance now.
Okay.
Yeah, just kinda-
Do you know for these bigger deals, those 25 or so that you did that are larger, average mailers per deal, ballpark, are you around that 2,000?
About 2,000, almost exactly. Yeah. So now for
Right.
us, if I know that I send 60,000 pieces of mail,
Yeah.
it costs us $30,000. I know it's going to net me 300,000. Double it,
Yeah.
triple it, 4x it. The number all is
It
pencils
really,
the
totally,
same.
yeah, it's really, really scalable. I mean,
Yeah.
there'll be like your margin, net profit margin will go down slightly. Like I think that a fully maxed out, fully scaled out land business, or maybe at 70% margins, where someone like you probably closer to 80%, just as your team size grows.
Right,
Which
yeah.
that'll the only thing that will kind of scale up in terms of cost. But yeah, it's so easy to back in and forecast what you want to do in this business, because once you know those numbers, you're just solving for them in terms of what you want to make.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't deviate much from it. So you're playing the rural recreational game like we talk about in the program, subdivision stuff. Are you going stuff that's outside of a subdivision? What kind of markets are you working in here?
Yeah, we're a lot of rural infill.
Okay.
Much more infill than probably you are. We're still outside of any major metropolitan city. So
like half an acre to 5 acre type lots.
yeah, half an acre is probably the smallest that we'll buy. Rural infill, there's some markets that we'll work in that are kind of our bread and butter that are definitely more like of your traditional infill, but we've worked there for so long that we just kind of know the market.
Yeah.
We have our buyers. But yeah, a lot of rural infill. Coming 2023, we're going to be much more choosy about like where we market. I don't want to buy any more land out in like New Mexico or the middle of Georgia, where it's just not that desirable to go. I like Colorado. I like outside of Phoenix. I like places
Well,
like
and
that.
now you've been at it for over a year. You've got a database of this works, this didn't work. And
Yeah.
it's so much easier just to do what works instead of
Yeah.
trying to find new markets. I mean, I played that game for years. It's like every week I was trying to find new markets. It's just, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're taking too many chances.
Yeah.
Just do what's tried and true. And at
Yeah.
this point, you've got a large enough kind of database to utilize there.
Yeah.
Okay, so rural infill for the most part. What do you think the split is between like rural recreational, 5 to 40 acres, rural infill, half an acre to 5 acres?
I would say we're probably 75% rural infill. Pretty high.
Have you seen that slow down a little bit as the market's kind of come down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like a certain market we work in over in Arizona, in Maricopa County, where they're all rural infill lots, so
Yeah.
5 acre lots. In a subdivision like that, in the last probably 3-4 months, I'm seeing probably double the amount of for sale properties.
Yeah.
Now, whether that's a factor of more people trying to dump their land, or they're not just selling, so the for sale stack up.
Yeah.
Could be a combination of both.
Right.
But yeah, that's a concern,
Yeah.
right? That the rural infills are definitely sitting longer than probably just a regular.
I've
rural
seen it for our
recreation.
portfolio. I mean, we don't have like any true infill, but the rural infill has just come to like a screeching halt. All right, so you're going after mainly rural infill, about 75% of what you're doing. Let's talk about how you're dispoing these properties. What's kind of the game plan there? You got a buyer's list? You going new buyers for everyone, flat fee MLS, realtors? What's the mix there?
Yeah, so I was looking at the number the other day. In 2022, I think we added about 1350 to our buyers list, which is
Oh, wow.
pretty solid
Really good.
number. Yeah,
Yeah.
so in kind of our bread and butter markets, those are almost being marketed solely to them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
So
those are
there's a lot of repeat buyers.
a lot of repeat buyers, or people that have
out.
reached out and
Gonna buy it
they were
first
going to
time.
buy eventually.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So a lot of our like rural info lots, they're going to be sold before they hit the market.
It's a great thing to have happen in
Yeah.
your business.
Yeah. Aside from that, it's a lot of MLS. MLS has been rocking.
And you're doing flat fee MLS,
Yeah.
not so much realtors for the most part.
Flat fee MLS. If I'm, kind of leaning on a realtor for a lot of help during the due diligence process and they're going up,
Throw it
I
down
will.
the bone.
Yeah, I'll let them list it. But for the most part, it's flat fee.
Cool. And then have you seen like days on market starting to creep up? I mean, in our business, this quarter is bittersweet, right? Like still a great quarter, not what we're used to though, right? We were doing 15, 18 properties a month,
Yeah.
150, 175K profit a month. And now it's dialed back like 50, 75 grand profit a month. It's just our sales have come plummeting. Like we were doing 18 properties a month, now we're doing 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Is that same thing for you?
Yeah, it's definitely slowed down. I have been a little, I don't want to say lucky, but
Yeah, we'll touch on your crazy freaking nature month. We'll get to that.
well, yeah, no, but even you started like January 2023.
Yeah.
We've got a few lots that we've already, we pre-sell them before we even close on them, so that helps with the days on market.
Yeah.
We do have some lots out in like Colorado, for example, that are sitting. I think the longest one sitting though has been about 60 days. So nothing terrible.
Really
I think our
okay,
average is
yeah.
probably about 30 days. If you
And
look at
that's
the average amount.
probably weather related just because it's winter.
Nobody's
Colorado
buying right
property,
now.
it's-
Yeah, those
because they
listings-
can't even go and look at a lot
Yeah.
of these properties, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, for us in our business, I mean, this is going to be ballpark, but so we're mainly rural recreational. I don't think you get the same eyeballs that you might get on a rural infill.
Right.
What I like about rural recreational is I just love that asset type. Like I could just think about it, dream about it, stare at it all day long. Not really the same for rural infill for me, but I think that like it's steady Eddie. I think that when things are hot, rural infill's super hot. I think it's not going to like get decimated like infill lots might get right now, but I think that like you look at rural recreational, it's just like this. Like we're still seeing demand,
Yeah.
but it's always been a little bit slower than what you guys have been doing. So for us, like we were selling most of our properties maybe 30 to 45 days.
Okay.
Now it's definitely 90 days.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
And with the stuff with terms, we become a lot more aggressive with our terms. That'll move these properties pretty quick. We can move them in under a month. What we've been doing is getting crazy aggressive with our low down payments. We just sold a 6-figure property with a 5% down payment, which is nothing.
Low. Yeah.
But the monthly payment's huge, and I know I can go and turn around and sell that note at 75% of its value. Hey, fellow land investor, we're going to do a quick commercial break here, and that is for our Land Investing Accelerator program. Look, if you are looking to scale and grow a 6- and 7-figure business and go and join dozens of other land investors, you're going to want to check out the Land Investing Accelerator program. In fact, you can actually book a 1-hour strategy call with yours truly to learn all the ins and outs of running a land investing business totally for free. And through that process, we'll identify if joining the Land Investing Accelerator program is a good fit for you. This is our group coaching model. This is how we've turned beginners to 7-figure land flippers in just under a few years. We've got dozens of incredible members in there. So if you're looking to grow your land business in 2023, this is the place to be. You guys can book a call with yours truly down below, or you can head over to landinvestor.co to learn more about the LEA program.
Okay.
Right, so like the actual sales price was pretty big on it.
Right.
So that's been really helping us.
But
what did you
90
see
days
there?
is still good.
Yeah, I
Right?
mean,
Like, I think
yeah.
we get a little jaded. In
We do.
2022, you're selling all properties in like 20, 25 days.
Yeah.
You got the return we're getting on these deals. 90
crazy.
days is still
Crazy.
still
When you look at
great.
like, I mean, a lot of guys that came into this business during the pandemic, they were spoiled, right?
Yeah.
Prior to 2020, this was the norm. 90 to
Yeah.
120 days was
Right.
just the norm across the board.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of reverting back to that norm. But yeah, what have you seen over the last quarter?
Yeah, well, winter's always tough. Everything's going to slow down in winter just
Holidays.
naturally. Yeah, nobody's going out and looking at land in December. But it'll be interesting the first quarter of 2023 to see what happens. I think it'll be kind of a huge kind of signal, I
Canary
guess.
in the coal mine.
Yeah,
I
just to
think we'll
see
learn a
what's
lot,
going to happen.
For sure.
So
I think everyone is kind of holding their breath,
Yeah.
waiting to see what's going to happen. Now, does that mean the land business isn't going to work? No, the land business is going to stay the same. But you might have to change your expectations as a business owner. If you have deal funders or partners, you might have to change their expectations.
Right.
Again, we just got spoiled. We got fat, rich, happy over the last few years. It's not that the business doesn't work anymore. It's just the game has changed a little bit. And I
Right.
spent really the last quarter up until beginning of December beating myself up. I was upset because I had been doing so well and everything was flying off the shelves and I could do no wrong. And now all of our deals are still selling. It's just slower. And I felt like I was doing something wrong, and I really wasn't. It's
Yeah,
just kind of
just
the
the
nature
nature
of
of
where
the
we're
market.
at. Yeah. So yeah, what have you seen kind of correct over the last few months? Has it been drastic or pretty much the same?
It hasn't been drastic.
Okay.
No, not for us. I'm expecting it to be drastic, but I think we're smarter about the lots that we buy.
Yeah.
I'm not buying a lot that I would have bought 6 months ago because I just know it won't sell. So because of that, I don't think our days on market have drastically changed because we're just smarter about the lots that we buy. Yeah.
I think that, I've been talking about this to the members in our Discord that, like, if you can start your business now, you're going to build up really good habits because you're going to use your discernment and your best judgment to suss out what's a good deal and what's a bad deal. There was guys a year ago buying properties with 2-mile long easements, crazy topography, flood zones, and they would still sell. And it's like,
they're not selling it.
Yeah, or
I mean,
it's just
might.
going to take forever, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be a little more of a sniper. You know, one of the worst properties we had, the one that we sold with the 5% down payment.
Oh, yeah.
Good deal on paper, gorgeous deal, county road frontage, 11 acres. Properties out there were trading for about 10 grand an acre. Well, come to find out, there's this nasty pipeline easement on it. It's like super funky, and we just didn't do enough due diligence, or I didn't really think it was going to be as big of a deal as it was. So any deal that has just a little oddity or nuance or hair to it becomes a problem. And I think it was in a good market, not a great market. Like if that was in Austin, Texas, like so much prevailing just demand that it still would have sold. We were in Texas, but a slower part of the state. So I think you guys have gotten really good at just picking the right markets and going to markets that you know.
Yeah.
Like once you have real data points from doing deals there, you have a lot more confidence. You know the little nuances, right? Like you buy a land out, and that's not a big secret, Pahrump. Yeah. And you know what to look for, right?
Exactly.
Where a lot of guys would get tripped up on that. So
but we're working on a deal right now out in Yavapai County. It's a 40-acre outside of Ash Fork. 6 months ago, I'm buying this deal, no problem. Yeah. But now, we're finding out that it's kind of hard to get to the easement. It might not be that easy to access the property. I don't know if it's worth it now.
No, I mean,
6 months ago, people were buying them sight unseen. They don't care.
For sure. And you could remedy that issue by repricing it. Yeah. But the seller's got to want to play ball, And we're at this weird point where it's like buyers think that the sky is falling and they can get the lowest price ever, and same with land investors, and then sellers think that like they can still get 2021 prices. Yeah, we haven't really found that sweet spot yet. I think some sellers are starting to wake up to the fact though, and so I will still do an odd deal. It just has to be severely discounted to make it work.
Yeah, I will say with the market, I'm getting just in the past couple weeks, I'm getting probably more emails than I got all in 2022 of saying, "Hey, I've got these lots I have no interest for. I'll sell them." I didn't get those in 2022. I think people are kind of realizing maybe money's a little tighter. I'll just kind of dump these things that I don't need. So
and I think that like people were holding on to these properties and they just see them climbing, and it makes sense from like a human psychology standpoint. And then once you start to see a dip, it's like when people sell Bitcoin. Yeah. Like it's ripping, it starts to dip, and they're like, oh shit, and then they start selling, and then everyone starts selling. I think that there's just a fear of not being able to kind of capitalize on all the gains that have happened over the last few years. Yeah. So we've seen a lot of old sellers reaching out to us. Hey, is that offer still on the table? And so I can see that people are starting to catch up to it. Yeah. Let's talk about deals in your portfolio, deals in your pipeline right now. You got anything juicy worth sharing here?
Yeah, some good deals. Yeah, I'm excited. First quarter of 2023 is going to be great. I think the total number, it's probably right around 9-10 deals that are in escrow to buy right now. Solid. And I think we've got about 4 listed. We're just listing one next week out in Texas. Bought it. We closed on it. We were all in about $35,000. That's going to go live at $100,000. So great deal. So still good deals to have. Yeah. But no, I think in potential profit, I think we're right around the $200,000-$300,000 range for the deals we have. So pretty good. For the first quarter.
And those will probably turn over this quarter. Yeah. We're literally 2 days into the month, which is crazy. Yeah. I mean, I talk about how things are changing and there's a little more uncertainty, and I don't want to mislead anyone and say that like things are bad, right? Like we just got a deal in our pipeline today that we're working on. It's to buy for give or take $900,000 to $1 million. It's a subdivide play, breaking it up into 20 lots, and it's worth on the low end $2 million, but realistically probably closer to 3.5. Crazy. Like we're like at $2 million, we are severely discounting it. Like we're the cheapest in the market by like 30%, which I don't think we would need to do that. Crazy. I mean, that's an insane deal, and we've got like 3 of those in our pipeline right now. So you can
they're
still
out there.
They're out there. Yeah. And it's just like the people that keep on showing up, keep beating the drum, no matter what's going on. Sky's falling, market's good, doesn't matter. If you keep showing up, keep mailing, keep running your business, you'll get rewarded. And so just don't deviate from the plan. And let's talk about pitfalls and big wins from last year and then what you're looking to do this year.
Yeah, pitfalls. We'll start there. Well, I think the pitfalls, I guess I've kind of gone over. It's the cheaper deals for me. Yeah. That was just...
the time suck.
Yeah. Once I got away from that, my business changed. What helped my business, August, September, we mailed it was our 2 biggest mailing months. We mailed, I think, a little over 10,000 mails a month. Mm-hmm. And we didn't get any deals those first 2 months. The next month is kind of when they all came in, and that's when we had, the biggest month of the year. Yeah. So, again, another kind of eye-opening moment of, if I'm mailing now, I know that in 2 months this will pay off, and
Yep.
I just mail a lot more than I think I have
Yep.
to, and it'll work out.
Yep.
So just mail as much as I possibly can, and don't do little deals, and you'll be okay.
Yeah, dude, the little deal game is so interesting because we still get little deals that come inbound to us, and it's like, you can make a 600% return, but what you don't realize is just, you're not going to make that much like true profit. The percentage return might be nice, but there's an opportunity cost, right?
Yeah.
And if you're at the point that we're at, and you've got team members, and like you might say, well, I'm removed from the process. Well, it creates friction for your team. Little deals will keep you little, right? Just think about it like that, right? So you want to deviate from that pretty darn quickly. And in fact, really what we teach in the program is that there's no value in starting at little deals. Just go up market from the beginning.
Yeah.
Believe
It almost
it-
hurts you more to
It
do little
does,
deals
dude. And
stuff.
there's truly less competition. There's more opportunity. You can bring in funding partners, and one deal can change your life. Like we had a guy in the program that did a deal with a $300,000 spread in their first year. That's life changing.
Right.
Some of these other deals, not so much, right? Okay, so the small deals was a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Sticking to the mailing, we all struggle with that, right? Like mailing is always going to be a tough thing to adhere to and to always hit our goals. Let's talk about some of the wins. What did you do right?
Well, we got a heck of a lot better at our pricing, a heck of a lot better at the market research, and I think that's kind of the name of the game.
Yeah.
So
Touch on that a little bit. Market research process, just from a high level. Are you kind of following some like the demand stuff that we teach in the program? What's your angle there?
yeah, we do follow a lot of the demand stuff. I go to where the demand is. I also don't want to be where there's a lot for sale. I don't want to get lost in the mix of the properties. I would rather be in a market where very few have sold, but there's none for sale.
Dude, and that's just a quick tangent on that. That is one of the points that I feel like so few land investors understand is that, yes, we are trying to buy an asset at a discount, but we're also playing an eyeballs game. It's just like trying to rank on Amazon, right? Like you could be buying this cup on Amazon for $1 and selling it for $20, and there's a great spread. But if there's 15,000 other listings, it's like good luck getting eyeballs on it. That oddly is more significant than most people realize, right?
Yeah.
You can have a great deal, but if you're in a market where there's 600 listings, it's like
It's gonna get lost.
and we're gonna have to pay a lot to get eyeballs on
Right.
it, and that's tough. So
Yeah,
tough.
for us, like we had a lot out in Deschutes County, Oregon.
Yep.
And we bought it for, I think we were all in like 32.5, and we sold it for 70,000.
Yep.
And at the time, we were the only property in the market. So if you want a deal, if you want a lot in this area, here you go. You don't have another option, right? I'd rather be that guy than the guy
you
that's
literally
lost.
you're the market maker at that point, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then for pricing, are you guys going blind offers, range offers, neutral letters? What's this?
Just blind offers. Yeah, I love our blind offers.
Have you tried range offers?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I haven't. But I came from the wholesale game. I came from the negotiating, the back and forth.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Well, and you've yet to add an acquisition manager, so like it is if you are running a lighter operation or you're solo, blind offers all day.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
day.
yeah.
Just
But if you have
that's-
somebody kind of doing that for you,
then I
like,
think
yeah.
range offers make sense, especially once you start increasing the mailer goal. It takes a lot of work to do 30,000
Right.
blind offers a month,
Yeah.
right? Unless it's all markets you know intimately. But yeah, I think that like to do range offers, you have to have an acquisition manager, in my humble opinion. To do neutral letters, you need to have 10 acquisition managers. You know, like, you need so much more infrastructure. Okay, so blind offers.
Yeah.
Good. Let's talk about this year. What's kind of on the docket? In terms of, you could talk about true tangible targets that you're trying to hit, but also maybe some soft skills, lifestyle. Like what are the things you're trying to hit across? the
Yeah,
board?
so I think the number one thing, consistency in mailing. We need to be a minimum 10,000 mailers every single month. So that would double our mail from last
Do
year.
you have an overall mail goal for the year?
Well, 120,000 was my goal, which would be 10,000 a month.
And does that reverse back into the numbers you want?
Exactly. Yeah. So it pencils perfectly. With that being said, though, our average deal spread was probably 15,000. I would imagine our average buy price, and I don't know this, I probably should. Last year, I would think on the bigger, quote unquote, bigger deals, we're probably about 15,000 to buy, and we're turning around selling for 30.
Yep.
I would like to go after deals that are larger this year. Go after maybe for the 30 to 40 buy, and then sell them 70 to 80. So that's kind of our goal. So yes, I am mailing more, but I'm also going after bigger deals with hopefully bigger spreads. So
Okay, cool. Let's talk about November. If you want, do you want to tell people what happened in November?
Yeah, November was a good month for us. We had an 80K month, which was the
Net.
biggest net. Yeah, net. So I think it was like 180,000 gross, 80K net.
Which is hilarious, just as a tangent. Like, across the board, pretty much everyone in the program, okay month. And we do our month ends KPI review call. And everyone's like, yeah, this month I made 30 grand, I made 20. And you're just like, yeah, I made $80,000 net. It's like, what the hell are we doing wrong here?
Yeah.
But let's talk about that. How many deals sold? Was it one monster deal? What was the makeup there?
It was two big deals. So I had one deal I bought for 45,000, and another one I bought for 32,000. So that was a large chunk of it. And then I think there were 3 or 4 others that were kind of smaller deals sprinkled in there.
Yep.
But it was 2 larger ones. again, these came from the 2 months prior of mailing 10,000 per month.
Gotcha.
Right, or actually probably 3 months prior.
Yeah, that's always how it is.
Yeah.
Plant the seeds, they come to fruition way down the line.
Yeah.
It's a slow game.
And then those are good reminders too. Like, when I'm mailing and I'm sitting and I'm, mail is relatively cheap, but it does cost money, right? So I'm spending money, mail. I had to keep reminding myself constantly, like 3 months down the line,
it'll pay
it'll pay off.
And the thing is too, is that like two things. One, like you said, for your numbers this year, and like I've seen in dozens of our students' businesses and in my business, pretty much bare minimum, you can see about a 10x ROAS on your
we
mail
were
spend.
almost
And
exactly 10.
That's net. That's like net profit. So a crappy mailer, you made double your money. Oh, it's terrible. Like there's such a margin of safety. But the other thing that I think a lot of people get tripped up on is they mail based off of their current results. Good month, I'm gonna mail a lot. Crappy month, I'm not gonna mail any.
Yeah.
That's a problem because like what's happening today is not an accurate readout on the mail that you sent 3 weeks ago. So I think people get discouraged. Hey Sumner, I sent this mailer last month and I'm just not getting that many leads. It takes way longer than you think to really like saturate and get all the leads coming back in.
Yeah,
So,
it's almost like a backwards way of thinking, right? Like when things are really, really tough, and it's kind of like a little mind game you play with yourself. When things are really tough and money's not coming in and things might be a little tight, there's only one thing that's going to fix it, and it's mail. It's mail more.
The thing is like this is a direct response business. The only angle that we have in our business is marketing.
Yeah.
And if you do anything to stop that process, you no longer have a business. And it blows my mind that people are like, I'm going to take a few months off from mailing. It's like, what? You're taking a few months off from running your business. Like, there's just no way around that. The other thing that I keep, just to kind of keep things in frame for me, is that like, let's say I drop 30,000 mailers in a month. That's going to be 15 grand. Whether it's this business, which you don't really see that many people dropping that many mailers, but like if I look at other industries, spending $15,000 a month on marketing is nothing.
Nothing.
Like I've got friends that run businesses that use like Facebook ads or Google PPC, and 50, 60, 75 grand a month is like pretty normal.
Yeah.
Right. And so I don't know. I just feel like people are they just have this weird illusion like, God, 30,000 mailers, that seems crazy. Talking about 15 grand in marketing,
Right.
It's really not much.
And when your ROAS is 10x, it's 150.
Dude, it's ridiculous. So that's and dude, 10x is like the worst case scenario. We have some that are way beyond that. What about questions for me? Anything that you want to talk about as you move into next year? Questions around next steps, hiring, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, probably hiring. So we actually just brought on a new hire today. I know we're talking mail, but we also do texting. So they're managing our kind of texting side of the business.
And you guys are using Launch Control setup.
Yeah, we use Launch Control. Yeah, we tried batch leads and it was just kind of a nightmare. So we use Launch Control. So I know you love your acquisitions managers, and you always hound me to get one. So how crucial would you consider an acquisition manager to be to your business and your results?
Yeah, I mean it's in the same vein of saying that like if you're not marketing, you don't have a business, right? If you don't have someone to take those inbound leads that we pay so much money for, to take them to the finish line from cradle to grave, again, it's kind of in that same idea, right? Like we spend so much money to do our marketing, and if you're a one-man band and you're doing all the other things in your business and trying to be an acquisition manager, you'll do an okay job, and that's what you've done, and you still run a profitable business.